morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2017 ULI Europe Conference. I am very pleased that you've all taken the time to engage with your colleagues and hear what they have to say. It is clear that the world is in a period of significant change and uncertainty. Forthcoming Brexit negotiations, a new administration in the US, and upcoming elections in France, Germany, and the Netherlands all make for a complex real estate investment climate. In this environment, European cities face many challenges. These include mass migration, a shortage of affordable housing, the need to become more innovative, and the challenge to compete on a global stage. We strongly believe cities are part of the solution. And today, we will hear from experts and urban leaders how to deal with the unintended consequences that growing cities face. In these uncertain times, ULI's mission to provide leadership in the responsible use of land and in sustaining and creating thriving communities worldwide is more important than ever. Over the past year, we've grown ULI's membership to nearly 3,000 members in Europe and to almost 40,000 members globally. This is a testament to the relevance and power of our organization. I find the time and resources dedicated by our members to ULI's mission very uplifting. We collaborate closely with members in our national councils who work hard to develop their local programs. We've held annual conferences in the UK, Germany, Belgium, Poland, and France, and have more planned for this year. These member-led events have provided forums for you to explore the local relevance of crucial themes such as infrastructure, urban transformation, competitive cities, and capital markets. We have also worked to develop our product councils. These groups consist of senior professionals who meet to exchange ideas, share best practices, and foster thought leadership in specific parts of the real estate market. For example, our retail council analyzed the impact of adding food and beverage and leisure on the performance of shopping centers. We also have councils that focus on hotels and resorts, urban regeneration, office and mixed use, and sustainability. And as a response to your growing interest, we have just launched a European Residential Council, which had its first official meeting yesterday. And we are working on the launch of a Logistics Council. Beyond our events, a key priority for us is to share our members' collective knowledge through research reports. For example, we recommended how the cities of Brussels and Antwerp can become more competitive. We assessed the real estate industry's response to climate change and continued our work on urban density, analyzing the impact on investment returns, carbon emissions, and cost per resident. And there's more in the pipeline, such as research on how the land use and real estate sectors can support the integration of migrants in European cities. We look forward to sharing some of the initial findings of that work later this morning. At your request, we've also begun to focus on housing affordability as a key theme for future research and programming. ULI has a long history of providing research and advice to cities on urban development challenges, bringing in our members' specialist expertise. Members from all over the world recently came to Rotterdam to share their experience, allowing the city to develop a long-term strategy for increasing its innovation capacity. And in Poznan, in Poland, we met with representatives from the public and private sectors to discuss how the city can obtain financing for urban regeneration projects as part of a long-term urban development strategy. We want to do more of these projects. ULI, Ireland, France and the Netherlands together have been awarded an Urban Innovation Grant to tackle the lack of affordable housing in Dublin, Paris and Amsterdam through the development of an urban game model. Sharing knowledge through education is also important to our members, and ULI's Urban Plan initiative has proved a great success here in Europe. Urban Plan is a realistic and engaging classroom-based program in which pupils learn about the fundamental forces that affect urban regeneration. As part of this program, members visit schools to teach young people from diverse social backgrounds about urban development and offer valuable career guidance. Piloted in the UK in 2014, the program now reaches over 30 schools. And last year, we held successful pilots in Germany and Ireland. As we work to expand Urban Plan across Europe, we hope you will consider supporting this valuable initiative by becoming a funder or a volunteer. Our advisory and educational activities in Europe would not be possible without the support of the ULI Charitable Trust, which encourages members and partners to support mission-led activities and initiatives all across Europe. I hope today's conference will allow you to make valuable connections, to inspire you with new ideas, and give you the chance to share your own insights. I would like to thank our program committee, chaired by Anne Kavanagh, with very active contributions from Rosemary Fienen and Sigrid Duhamel. I would also like to thank the ULI France Executive Committee, chaired by Emmanuel de Lanfersin, and the many ULI members involved in refining the topics and themes of this year's conference. Another big thanks goes to the ULI Europe staff, who've worked very hard on every aspect of this event. And I would also like to recognize our generous icon sponsors, Greenberg Traurig, our gold sponsors, Helaba, Tishman Speyer, and ECE, as well as all other sponsors whose support has been crucial to the success of this conference. And finally, I am very pleased to invite on the stage Thierry Laroue-Pont, CEO of BNP Paribas Real Estate, who is our conference chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to have the privilege, Lisette, to be with you this morning at the conference chair of this ULI Europe conference in Paris. So welcome in Paris, welcome in France, and to a certain extent, welcome in Europe. ULI, today's agenda, is quite exciting. It demonstrates the challenges and opportunities facing our real estate industries. As the time I've been allocated by you is only 5 minutes in all, I'm not going to go through an extensive 62 pages PowerPoint presentation, but I will share my vision of the global picture around the real estate industry. Let's start with something which will show you that clearly we are facing a challenging world. Going to GDP figures, they are low in the Eurozone at 1.5 instead of 1.7 last year. France at 1.3, slightly better, UK 1.1, and Germany at 1.8. As you said, major political uncertainties linked to the US post-election period, the post-Brexit transition in the UK, and the upcoming elections in France in May, in Germany and in Italy. Driven by very low interest rates and a high level of liquidity, we have recorded, as you can see on the slide, yield compression nearly everywhere in Europe on prime and core assets. And this situation is not going to stop in 2017. Therefore, my key messages within the 5 minutes time slot is that I remain quite positive about real estate for 2017 and perhaps beyond. First of all, appetite for real estate assets will be stronger, as most of the global investors have been meeting for the last 3 months confirmed that they will increase their asset allocations. Whether the Brexit will or will not be a hard one, the UK will remain the biggest or one of the biggest investment markets. In Europe in 2016, as you can see, UK investment figures decreased to 53 billion euro, but remain at the number 1 position, with a strong challenger, Germany, at 52.6 billion euros. I do believe that the potential wait-and-see attitude from investors in the UK will be a temporary situation. In the same manner, and in a more positive mode, the diversification of asset allocation, excluding the top 3 markets, France, UK and Germany, will be a great opportunity for other countries, for instance the Nordics, as you can see, Italy, Spain and Ireland. If you go to the figures achieved last year, the top 3 countries represented 60% of the global investment volumes, which is a decrease compared with last year. Further yield compressions on secured assets in prime locations could lead some investors to a greater appetite for other asset types, such as retail, logistics, and hotels. As you can see, office investment volumes in 2016 stand at 106 billion euros, far from the peak of 122 billion euros recorded in 2007. For some players in continental Europe, it could also be an opportunity to attract more foreign investors and to be less dominated by domestic investors in their local markets. For instance, 2016 saw an impressive level of foreign investors that represent 48% of the global investment volumes, led by European investors, 41%, followed by American and Canadian, 24%, and then Asian, 11%, and Middle East at 5%. Last but not least, I think that the occupier market is a huge opportunity for our industry. New occupiers' expectation, both in terms of IoT, Internet of Things, green buildings, connected buildings, smart cities, will give rise to a new generations of office building. In the same way, data management, building information modeling, and the digitalization of occupiers' day-to-day behavior will dramatically change our industry. Moreover, as we are today in Paris, the Greater Paris Initiative, Grand Paris, as we say in French, will extend the geographical perimeter of our traditional business districts. I think that this is, for all of us, a huge opportunity. This is why I'm today quite excited by these challenges. I wish you a very exciting ULI conference in Paris. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thierry. I now have the pleasure of introducing our conference moderator. Many of you may have seen her also last year when she was with us for the first time, and I'm very pleased that she's come back. I'm very pleased to introduce Benedicte Pavia, who's a UK correspondent of France 24. My French is not so good, so I'm not sure I can pronounce it in French. It's only Italian that comes out. She are Anglo-French TV and radio journalist based in London. And I would like to give you the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, or in my other language, bonjour. And yes, I can put on a French accent in English, but I don't propose to do that. So I'll say, welcome to Paris. There we are. That's the only French accent you're getting out of me today. So yes, my name is Benedicte Pavia. Well, if I say it the French way, Benedicte Pavia is the translation. I'm the United Kingdom correspondent for my sins for 2 global news channels, France 24, it's 10 years old, and before that I worked for the BBC for 12 years as a news and current affairs presenter. So, a ULI Europe conference. Alas, the last one in Paris, but we're going to make the best of it, and I hope you've been enjoying Paris and this absolutely fabulous hotel. So, you know, we're only about 6 minutes into this conference, and I think we've already heard the word Brexit 3 times, President Trump, so I don't know if anybody's going to be counting it. If you do, you definitely deserve a present, but I hope you'll be concentrating on other things. So yes, there is no doubt that with the installation, recent installation of Donald Trump in the White House, the Brexit that I covered extensively on France 24, like others, and certainly the fact that the Prime Minister, Theresa May, is about to trigger Brexit divorce proceedings, we think actually possibly not just by the end of March, we think that it might be before that, the 9th of March, but we will see. So today we're going to look at the immediate fallout, but we're also going to look at the longer-term impact for the real estate sector.